with the hip hop guru.
My name is Alex. This is another episode of the Sit Down on the Hip Hop Guru, and today we have a legend in the building. North Carolina's own Rapsody. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm in your city and I'm happy about it.
How is it to be back in Toronto?
It's good. I love Toronto. It's a beautiful city. It's peaceful. They got amazing food. Shout out to Pie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's just good energy. You
Good
know,
energy.
everybody here is kind.
Mm-hmm.
I love the diversity here. Yeah, it's fire.
It's multicultural central.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about this tour. You have been doing some crazy things with the stage presence and the set design. Talk to me about that and how you got it and why you wanted to create it like that.
Yeah, when I embarked on this tour and we started thinking about, the experience that we wanted to give people, because this will be my fourth tour, I think, maybe fifth, I can't even remember. But I want to give people a different experience all the time, and the album is so personal, right? And because, touring is expensive. I'm gonna just be real with y'all. Artists, if you up and come, touring is expensive, so I had these big ideas, but we got to be realistic. So it's like, how can we do the most with the little? And I was like, let's just make it personal. Let me take them back to how I was when I created this project. It was just me in my room, my desk, my computer, my notepad, and I was pouring out. And so that's the experience I wanted to give them. I wanted to take them to where I was, and make them feel engaged, but we all, we don't leave the audience either.
Absolutely.
So, that's what it is, and I think that's the beauty of touring and shows and artistry and being a great performer. You leave somebody with an experience that they're not going to get when they put the CD in the car. They're not going to get anywhere else. They're not going to get even show to show. Like, you may have gone to a Boston show or a Brazil show, but it's not the same as a Toronto show. Like, everything is going to be different, even if it's subtle changes. But that's what it is, having this exchange of energy and bringing people into your world.
No, absolutely. And I love that. And how does it feel to be back on tour after a couple of years,
Great. I haven't toured in 4.5 years. My last tour was the beginning of the pandemic, and I've missed it. I missed it so much. It was good to be away and to grow as a person and to grow as an artist, but to have music and now to be able to go see how your music touches people and how they react to it and how you can have an exchange together. It's nothing like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people ask me all the time, like, do you like making the music and recording it or touring? I'm like, they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
There's a beauty in the art of just pouring out and being creative and getting the idea out and it comes to life. But then you can't not have the other part where, like, yo, I want to go to Toronto and Europe and Brazil and America and all these places and just see how your music resonates with people. Like, there's no feeling like that.
No, absolutely. So, like, you're a legend. I'm gonna tell you time and time again. What has been like the most heartfelt fan interaction being on tour that kind of changed your perspective as an artist and a performer?
It's layers. I enjoy different pieces of it for different reasons. The thing that hits the most is when I have the meet and greets, because it is so one-on-one and personal, and people have the opportunity to tell you the things that they've been wanting to tell you. And it'll be like, I met a girl in DC, and she was like, because of your album and I'm here today.
Wow.
And that feels like a heavy responsibility, right? That, I was going through my own healing process, and I knew that it would help others heal. I always said I wanted to be a light for other people to find their way. But to really hear, like, you gave somebody hope and you gave them reason, those are the things that are like, this music has purpose to it, So, and it could be as deep as that, or, just the interaction of like, yo, I love your music. Like, people send me messages too. Like, sometimes it's not even always meet and greets. One girl came to the show And she messaged me and she said, yo, my little sister, I brought her with me and she had never been to a hip hop concert. And for me to watch her smile and the glee and joy in her eyes, like, I'll forever be attached to your music because of this memory. It's things like that. Like, that's what music and art is supposed to do.
It's like life's ultimate fulfillment.
Absolutely. Like, you can't beat that. But it's also things like, you're on the show and you hear people saying your hook, like, it's like we're all sharing in this moment together. Like, it's not just me. Like, y'all give as much to me as I hope I give to you. And two, like, it reminds me again why I do what I do.
Absolutely.
I'll tell people during the show, like, it's not easy to walk this path. The music business, the culture is amazing and fun, but the music business can be challenging when you're a pure artist, and you do these shows, you have these interactions, you hear people, you see them smile when you're rapping at the end, the applause, it reminds you that this is why I do it, so all of those things.
No, that's beautiful. So, like, we're going all the way back right now.
Okay.
Growing up in Snow Hill,
Mm-hmm.
fourth of fifth siblings. Your parents were factory workers growing up. You
Mhm.
grew up in a very small town.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read that you spent a lot of time by yourself. And you have very, very lyrical music. And you are a true artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how is it, like, is the reason that you have the music you are today because you spent a lot of time, like, by yourself with your thoughts?
I don't know if that's the reason. It's just part of my experience.
Mhm.
You have some people that do music and they were traveling and around a lot of people and they go and record their experience. So I think it made me more of a thinker and observer in my space. I'm not saying nobody is less, but
Mhm.
it's just what I did with it. That's how I look
Absolutely.
at it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, that's how I grew up. That's my experience. And I lived in it. I observed. I was quiet. I thought a lot. I wrote a lot. Yeah, I had a good amount of fun,
Mhm.
but the early years, like, yeah, I definitely spent. I still do that sometimes too.
Yeah.
When my friends will tell you, like, I'm a good time, but when I when I want my alone time, I want it. But I think that's just too how I grew up. But it probably is a big part of my personality.
Mhm.
Just to sit and be alone and process things. And it definitely shows up in my music, and my artistry and why I write the way I do and process and write about the things that I do and my storytelling. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So your music is like therapy, it's like very therapeutic. And I wanted to ask, like, what is the biggest truth that you found in life that, like, kind of changed who you are today?
The biggest truth. I think that there's so many, but the one that's sticking out to me now is trying to figure out how to word it in simple terms. Um, that is always just about you. It's never about anybody else. I think that's been the greatest thing. I posted something today and it said, I'm gonna mess the quote up, but it was something along the lines of like, what's the biggest lesson in life or the key to life? And the answer was, when you realize it's about you changing and not waiting for others to.
Absolutely.
And that was it. Like, you are in control of your experiences every day. You get to create the experience that you want to have. And I think when I realized that, it changed my world. Like, it doesn't matter what somebody else does to you, what they say to you, good, bad, indifferent. You get to choose how to react, how to feel, what is your truth in all of that. Sometimes things are not going to go your way. Everything's not going to be kind, but it has nothing to do with you. It's always about the other person. And once I realized that, I was able to take so much of my peace and joy and power back, and it's I've always been calm, but it's so much easier when you look at life like that.
No,
Just operate in love always.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I know on your song with Hit Boy, you said your biggest insecurity is the fear of being rejected. So when is it that you found that like self-belief in yourself?
The human answer is, I have my days where I have to remind myself of that. The moment,
That you found like ultimate, like, this is what I'm doing for my living, and yeah,
with my career,
with your career, or whatever you actually, whatever you,
with whatever my rejection fear was.
yeah. Because, everybody has that kind of fear of failure and thinking that they might
Yeah.
not be the best, but, when you get over that hump, that's when you can become whoever you want to be in life.
Yeah. When did that hit? I'm a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that like I'm 100% always there. It's just my awareness of it. You know what I'm saying? Just 2 weeks ago, I was in it, and not on the positive side of it. It was still feeling rejected, right? But my awareness is understanding how to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? And understanding the fantasy and illusion and all of it, and surrendering, and reminding myself what matters, what validates you, So it's safe to say, like, I'm still in the act of reminding myself that at times, but my awareness of it probably happened in early 2020, 21. And that was just like doing the work and having friends around me that put the mirror up for me and, just taught me. And those friends were like Misa Hilton and Raina Biddy. Erica Badu is still teaching me that.
Your album, Please Don't Cry. Talk about like the decision to go with the name and the creative direction with the album cover.
I wish Paso was here. The title came from, I was on Pinterest a lot. I was going through a healing phase, a growth phase, ego death, all these things, right? And we were in the pandemic. I was probably the most in solitude I've ever been. And I was pouring out a lot, emotionally. It was just a lot of different things that I was healing from. And I was looking at Pinterest for the words that I didn't have to describe how I felt or what I wish I could say to people at that time. And I came across this poem. It said, please don't cry, you won't always feel so broken. And the please don't cry just resonated with me so much because it was like, nah, I'm going to cry. I'm going to get it out. I'm not going to sit in it, but I'm going to get it out. And it's okay to feel, and it's okay to be human because you never allowed people to see you human before. You know what I'm saying? I always protected that part of me. Never let people in to that deep of a vulnerable space when it came to me. And in order for me to grow, I had to walk that, as scary as it was for me. So it was like, I tell myself, please don't cry, especially in front of people. But it's ironic because the album is why I should, So it felt right, for the season I was in. And I got to give it to Patso about the cover. I told him the title. I would send him a few songs, and he's my creative director and one of my best friends, like my brother from Bulgaria. We've been working together for many years. But he sent me this draft, and it wasn't that, but the yellow was there. And I was like, yo, that yellow is so fire. It got, it reminds me of like classic 70s covers. And we tried to recreate what his idea was, and we couldn't get it, right? He had these beautiful photos, and I just couldn't hit him. And I was on Pinterest again. Pinterest was like it for me.
That's the spot.
And I came across this photo of a beautiful young black model, yellow background, and she had a veil over, and I was like, yo, that is so stunning. And it just spoke to me. And when you see art, it'll tell a story however you perceive it and receive it. And it was like, man, emotionally vulnerable wise, I've been wearing a veil for so long for so many people, and it's time for me to take the veil off. So I showed it to him, and he was like, well, let's try it. And we did some photos, and boom, boom, boom. And we went with the tear, just to play off the title. But I love that he made it red. And, we looked at it and we were like, some people are going to love it and some people are going to hate it. but nobody's going to feel indifferent about it. And that's what we want. We want to create conversation around it. So, yeah.
No, I love that so much. That's honestly because there's so much. The music is one part, but the album is like it's forever standing, right? In the album cover, so that's part of the. Once you see the album cover, you see what you're gonna experience based on the photo that is presented at the beginning. So
Absolutely.
the fact that you put that much time and effort into creating this piece of art, and then the music that followed it, it's truly beautiful to see that because you're one of the last artists that actually cares about creating an album and cares about doing everything. And you know, huge kudos to you because that's truly remarkable.
Thank you.
That.
Thank you for seeing us and all the hard work we put into it.
No, absolutely. So wanted to ask you on the song "Never Enough." You said money's a number. Numbers never end. So happiness and satisfaction through money, I'll never win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and everybody tries to get this thing that they reach and they get it like a car or something like that. And then once you have the car, you know, it's like, okay, I have the car.
Now I need a bigger car.
Exactly, right?
You're never happy.
Absolutely. So you've accomplished so much in your career. What gives you what keeps you going and what gives you joy?
This is a question Badu asked me in an interview we had. What brings me joy and peace and happiness? Honestly, like being able to wake up every day and create, right? And I use create very broadly. It's creating new friendships, creating art, creating memories, like it's really that simple for me. Like I get to wake up every day and create the things that bring me joy and peace. Because it's all encompassing. It's really, really foundational things. Like I get to live in my purpose. I get to write. I get to make music. I get to travel. I get to, talk to people. I get to spend time with my nephews. Like when I want to, I get to work out because I want to be sexy. Like I get to wake up every day and create. And everything else is just a bonus from that. Like I don't need a big house. I don't need the flyest car. I do like to dress. I love clothes, but I don't need those things. I just find so much peace and joy in laughing and resting. On this tour, like me and the crew, like we go ride bikes. It feels so good. Like it reminds me of my childhood. Like that's it. Just creating experiences every day. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. And that's it. Okay. We have a hard 20-minute for you.
Sorry, go ahead.
I
You
could
got
talk
another
to you
one.
for hours.
Come on, we keep on.
When people listen to Rapsody, you have a song talking about your name as well, where you spell it out.
Yeah.
For the artist and the individual, what do you want listeners to experience when listening to your music?
I want them to see the humanness of me, right? And in that to see themselves and realize like, yo, at the end of the day, we all live in the same life. It doesn't matter that I rap. I get to make music videos or the next John. Like, I ain't no better than you, I put my pants on 2 legs at a time. I cry. I'm joyful. I have family. I have hard days, bad days. I have days where I don't love myself the most, like I have days I love myself unconditionally, and those days are a lot more than the latter. But we all just live in life, and I want people to remember the human in them. And I think if you do that, you'll see it in everybody else. Like, we got to get back to love, right? Like, deprogram. We got to see the illusion and fantasy and things and really get back to reality. Like, shit is just weird to me right now. And I think we've lost our way in that. And it's, we just need a reset, a reminder. And music has always been one of the biggest reminders, the art. So that's what it is for me.
No, that's incredible. So, knowing everything that you know now, like if you were to go back and give your younger self some advice just starting out, what would it be?
Wow. like the real me wants to be like I wouldn't change anything. Like all those experiences help shape you.
Absolutely.
You know. But if anything, yeah, I wish she was a more aware
Mm.
earlier. You know, I wish she wasn't. She found her neo sooner, and I say that, you know, like again, just to see like the program to deprogram yourself. I've been reading and learning a lot about relearning, unlearning a lot, and relearning things.
Okay.
You know, as young adults, we're shaped and programmed by so much, especially from the ages of 0 to 7, from your family, your friends, the school, religion, society. All of these things feed these things, and they program you to feel this way, think this way, this. It's like you gotta kind of, you have to experience things and learn yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, you can't live somebody else's thoughts and ideas of what beauty is, you know, what value is, you know, this person, that versus like, nah, you gotta see that for yourself. You gotta learn your own truth. So you know, it's just that. But in order to do that, you have to really live. So that's why I say I can't change anything.
Yeah.
You know, I have to appreciate, you know, my journey, and that's why I'm able to make this project.
Absolutely.
So,
You know, it's an interesting thing because everybody tries to like copy somebody else's blueprint, trying to do it exactly how they did it. But there's beauty in the journey, in the process, and failing at things gets you to be where you are today, and you can't be who you are without learning how to fail and get back up, right?
100%, 100. You can be inspired by people, you know, but you have to, you know, love and respect your journey. I went and got a tattoo, a couple years ago, Germantown in LA, and me and the tattoo artist were having a really good conversation. I was there a couple of hours, and he said something that's always stuck in me. He had a case full of books, and he was like, I mean, I got them, but, you know, what's the point, right? Like, these are all just people's experiences and opinions. It don't make it truth. And when he said it, I was like, he's so, like, that he's so right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, we read self-help books, and yeah, it's helpful to learn from others' experiences, but I could write a book from my experiences, and does it have less meaning?
Absolutely.
You know, like, you know, the beauty is through all of our experiences and connections and conversations, we get to find the truth. But we all just sharing our experiences. So I thought that was real dope, his perspective on that.
No,
Yeah.
it's like life is like a sponge, right? The
Yeah.
more water you add to it, the fuller it gets.
Absolutely.
And if there's no water that's added to it, it'll always be dry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well,
Got to keep it full.
I appreciate your time. I don't want to take
Thank
too much
you.
more of it
All
because
good.
I know
I've
you have a
enjoyed it.
hard schedule. And thank you so much for giving extra time. And truly honored to be in the same room as you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on everything you did. And you've inspired so many people in this life. And, you know, thank you.
Thank you. I enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you.
I hope this won't be the last
Oh, hopefully not.
with the hip hop guru.